Hi folks, welcome back to Meaningful Money. It's a stifling hot day. It doesn't look that great, a bit cloudy behind me, but so forgive the open collar because it's about 24 degrees and very muggy today. We're going to talk about investments now, so this is just a very short introduction. This is going to be a really long subject. It's going to take us weeks and weeks and weeks to cover everything, and even then I'm quite certain I'll have to come back and cover off some things I've missed. But as we put in place all the videos which hopefully people will need to understand the various parts of the financial planning process, I'm going to work through investments first, and then we'll come back to pensions and things like that later. We've talked, remember, already about savings, so we're moving on to investments now, but this is going to be a big one. Now, we need to have a couple of things in mind as we talk about investments. First thing is that there's lots of flies around here. Never mind, it must smell like something. It's some various things to have in mind. A big one is time scale. When we're talking about investment, remember, we don't invest for its own sake, but always for a given purpose as part of a defined plan. And time scale is an important part of that plan. We're not talking about short time scales here really, of sort of less than 5 years. We're talking 5 years, really anything up to 50 years. So medium to long term, we would call that. We're talking about both specific timescales. Maybe you've got, I don't know, a wedding to pay for, or a holiday home you'd like to buy in 15 years' time, or a yacht or something like that. Maybe a specific point in time, or rather a more general one, just like investing so that you can enjoy a certain standard of living in retirement. Important to have timescale in mind when we talk about investments. Another really important distinction as we go forward in all of these videos, though, is the difference between wrappers and underlying investments. When I talk about wrappers, I'm talking about the boxes you put investments in. So things like ISAs or investment bonds. These are products, if you like, which you can buy, but which all, to a greater or lesser extent, have underlying investments in them, like stocks and shares. So those are wrappers: ISAs, investment bonds, and pensions and things like that, which we'll come on to later. Underlying investments, on the other hand, are the granular, the smallest common denominator things. So things like shares, gilts and bonds and things like that. We're going to explain what all those are as well. So the difference between wrappers and the underlying investments within them are important to understand at this stage. And also, as we go into investments, we also need to have in mind the last video, which was all about risk. And do you remember we talked about how we can mitigate risk in investing in 3 ways. The first one, the most important one really, is diversification, to spread the money around. The second one is time, to hang in there for the long term, and that in itself reduces risk. And the third one is review, keeping any portfolio under regular review. So we need to have these 3 things in mind really: the timescale we're talking about, the difference between wrappers and the underlying investments, and the risk element, particularly diversification. And diversification is important, and the key way we achieve that is a process called asset allocation, and that's the subject of the next video. So join me next time, and thanks for watching.